The Wake-Up Call, the story of Amir. Amir was a young man with a mind full of dreams and a heart full of excuses. He wanted to be successful, rich, respected, admired. He often imagined himself driving a luxurious car, living in a big house, and being interviewed on television about his journey to success. But whenever it came to taking real action, he would sigh and say, "Tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. He spent his days scrolling through his phone, watching motivational videos, and reading about people who had made it. Each story inspired him for a few minutes, but that inspiration always faded into comfort. "I just need the right opportunity," he told himself. "Once it comes, I'll show the world what I can do." But the opportunity never came because Amir never prepared for it. One morning, Amir's father called him to the living room. The old man's face looked tired, but his eyes still carried the fire of wisdom. "Amir," he said gently, "you've been out of college for almost 2 years now. You talk about success every day, but I don't see you doing anything about it." Amir frowned. "Dad, I'm just waiting for the right idea. Once I find it, I'll work hard, I promise." His father smiled sadly. "My son, ideas don't build empires. Work does." Amir didn't respond. He felt annoyed. He believed his father didn't understand him, that older people always underestimated the youth. But deep down, he knew his father was right. That evening, Amir went out with his friend Bilal, who had started a small digital marketing business. Bilal was always busy, working late nights, meeting clients, learning new skills, yet he seemed genuinely happy. "You're lucky, Bilal," Amir said as they sipped tea at a roadside stall. "You found your passion early. I just haven't found mine yet." Bilal chuckled. "Luck? You think this is luck? I worked 14 hours a day for months before I even got my first client. Passion isn't something you find, it's something you build." Amir rolled his eyes. "Easy for you to say. You've already made it." Bilal leaned closer. "No, Amir, I'm making it, every single day. The only difference between you and me is that I stopped waiting for motivation and started working with discipline." Amir laughed it off, but the words stuck in his mind like a thorn. Weeks passed. Amir's life remained the same, sleeping late, waking up tired, dreaming of success, and doing nothing about it. His father had stopped saying much. He just looked at Amir sometimes with quiet disappointment. Then one day, everything changed. Amir's father suffered a mild heart attack. The doctor said it wasn't fatal, but he would need rest and regular medication. Amir was terrified. The man who had always been his silent support suddenly looked fragile. For the first time in his life, Amir felt truly responsible. He had to step up. There was no one else to help manage the household. The family's small grocery shop was struggling. Bills were piling up. His father's savings were almost gone. That night, as Amir sat beside his father's hospital bed, he whispered to himself, "This is my fault. I wasted so much time. I kept dreaming instead of doing." The next morning, Amir woke up before sunrise. For the first time in years, he felt a strange determination inside him. He opened the grocery shop early and worked the whole day. He didn't know much about running a business, but he asked questions, learned quickly, and pushed himself. It was exhausting, but it felt good. For weeks, Amir ran the shop tirelessly. He created a small delivery service for local customers, started promoting the shop on social media, and even learned basic accounting to manage the finances better. Slowly, things began to improve. Customers started noticing his energy and friendliness. Sales increased. The small shop that once seemed lifeless began to thrive. His father watched from home with pride and tears in his eyes. Months passed, and Amir's habits began to change. He stopped waiting for motivation and started relying on routine. He woke up early, exercised, planned his day, and worked consistently. Every night before sleeping, he wrote down what he had learned and what he would improve the next day. The same boy who once found excuses now found purpose. One evening, Bilal visited him at the shop. He looked around and smiled. "Wow, Amir, you've changed. This place looks amazing." Amir grinned. "I finally realized something. Ambition without action is just fantasy. I used to want success without deserving it." Bilal nodded. "Exactly. The universe rewards effort, not intention." They both laughed, remembering how many times Amir had once said, "tomorrow." A year later, Amir had turned the small grocery shop into a local chain of 3 stores. He had hired a few employees and started a delivery app for his customers. He worked long hours, but he didn't mind. It wasn't struggle anymore, it was growth. He was invited to speak at a local youth event. Standing on the stage, facing a crowd of young people who reminded him of his past self, Amir smiled and began, "I used to think success was about luck, talent, or finding the perfect idea. But I learned it's about discipline. You don't need to be the smartest or the most talented. You just need to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it." He paused, letting the silence settle. "Dreams are free," he continued, "but success has a price. The currency is effort." The audience erupted in applause. After the event, a young man approached him and said, "Sir, your story really inspired me. I also have big dreams, but I find it hard to start." Amir smiled, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Then start small. Don't wait for motivation. Start with discipline. Once you take action, the energy will follow." As the boy walked away, Amir thought of his father, of the man who had taught him the value of work without ever giving a lecture. That night, he sat by his father's side, now much healthier, and said, "Thank you, Dad. You were right. Ideas don't build empires. Work does." His father smiled. "And you, my son, finally became the man I always knew you could be." From that day on, Amir made it his mission to help others like him. Dreamers trapped by laziness, ambition held hostage by excuses. He started an online mentorship group where he shared his story and encouraged young people to take their first steps toward discipline. He often ended his talks with the same words: "Life doesn't give success to those who wait. It gives success to those who work. You don't need perfect timing. You just need to start. Dreams are seeds, but only action makes them grow." Moral: Amir's story teaches us a timeless truth. Ambition without effort is like a car without fuel. It looks impressive, but it goes nowhere.